Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today is my weekly wrap-up for the week ending Saturday, March 22nd. But before I get into my reading for the week, I wanted to talk about a few additional really wonderful gifts that I received in the mail this week. The first came in a large envelope, and I don't know who sent this to me. It came in an envelope, or the gifts came in an envelope from Stephen Foster Design in New York, but there was no note inside the package. And it contains several really beautiful bookmarks. And they're bookmarks featuring authors that I love and that I've talked about on the channel. One is of Ursula K. Le Guin. Another is of Margaret Atwood. Featuring The Handmaid's Tale here. And another of my beloved Ray Bradbury, and Fahrenheit 451 on the back. And then also included was a postcard from Stephen Foster Designs, but no note, just may these bookmarks find their way into your favorite books. Happy reading, but not signed by anyone. And then some Bookish stickers too. So, I mean, these are just really, really lovely, and I am so grateful, but I wish that I knew who to thank, because I just don't know who has sent these. I've asked a couple of people, a couple of likely suspects, but I haven't gotten an affirmative yet. But whoever sent these to me, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of your generosity. And these are really just magnificent. They're just really beautiful artwork. And what I understand is that Stephen Foster Design has a shop on Etsy, and you can purchase Bookish bookmarks. And then I also received a box this week from my dear friend Michael K. Vaughan. I've talked in many videos about how I truly discovered science fiction as a genre that I want to read, and a genre that I have come to love through Michael K. Vaughan. Long before I had my own BookTube channel, I was following Michael and watching his videos regularly, and I decided to do his science fiction starter kit. And so I read a whole bunch of classics in science fiction. And I had reached out to Michael, I had written to him. So he's been on my radar long before I had thoughts of starting a channel. But he's just been so kind to me since I have been here on BookTube. And he's just really encouraged my love of science fiction and helped to foster it. Even inviting me last summer to be one of the co-hosts on Rocket Summer, and I was up there with the big guys. I mean, I didn't really belong with that group who really know what they're talking about when they talk about science fiction. But it was just a sign of Michael's great kindness. And a couple months ago, I had done Gavin's video on my ideal shelf, the books that I would love to have, if money wasn't an object, and you could have any books that you wanted. And I had spoken in that about a couple of science fiction anthologies that, you know, I've borrowed from the library, and, you know, they're just things I would love to have, but I couldn't really justify the expense of them right now. And one that I had talked about was the Wesleyan Anthology of Science Fiction. And I think I had shown this in the video, but that was the library's copy. And Michael reached out to me and said that he had a spare copy of this that he, you know, at his country home, and that the next time he went there, he would get me a copy and send it to me. And this is it's just an incredible collection of science fiction. It says on the back here that it is over 150 years worth of the best science fiction collected in a single volume. And everybody's in here. It gives a chronological listing and then also a thematic listing of the stories. But just some of the people in here: Nathaniel Hawthorne, Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, E.M. Forster, Edmund Hamilton, Leslie F. Stone, C.L. Moore, Stanley Weinbaum, Isaac Asimov, Clifford D. Simak, Theodore Sturgeon, Judith Merrill, Fritz Lieber, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Robert Sheckley, and on and on and on. J.G. Ballard, R.A. Lafferty, Harlan Ellison, Frederick Pohl, Philip K. Dick, and it's just 150 classic science fiction stories. So Michael said he was going to send that to me, and it arrived this week. But in addition, Michael also sent me a Penguin Classics edition of H.R. Haggard's She. And this is a novel that was written or published in 1887 after serial publication in 1886 through 1887, and it is a first-person narrative of a young Cambridge professor, Horace Holly, and his young ward, Leo Vinci, and their journey into the African interior, where they find a lost kingdom. They encounter a native people and a mysterious queen who comes to be known as She, or She Who Must Be Obeyed. And this is an early entry into the Lost World genre. So Michael included a copy of that in his box, and also Sheridan Le Fanu's In a Glass Darkly. This was first published in 1872, and this is a collection of 5 stories, or really 3 short stories and 2 novellas by the Irish writer who greatly influenced Bram Stoker, another Irish writer, in his writing of Dracula. These stories are considered part of the Gothic horror, occult detective genre. This volume includes Carmilla, which is an early female vampire story that most definitely had an impact on Bram Stoker. So I think that there are some things in here that I will definitely be reading for horror mayhem. So I can't thank you enough, Michael, for your many, many kindnesses to me, and for your extreme generosity in sending me these volumes from your own collection. Know that I will cherish them because they're from you. Okay, so those are the lovely bookish gifts that I received this week. I would also like to talk about what I've been reading this week and what I have coming up. The first thing that I finished this week was Anne Bronte's novel, Agnes Grey, and this is This was the group read for Melinda at a Web of Stories for her event March on the Moors, a Bronte reading event. I loved this novel. This is a largely autobiographical novel in which Anne Bronte depicts the life of Agnes Grey, a young English governess. It was published in 1847, and it follows the life of Agnes Grey as she works in two different homes as a governess because her father has come on some financial hard times and she's trying to help the family out. In the first home where she works, the children are monsters. They are absolutely incorrigible, and that job doesn't work out. She eventually gets a second position. I wouldn't call the children in the second home monsters, but the young girls that are in Agnes's care, I mean, they're not incorrigible, but they are definitely spoiled and selfish and sometimes just downright mean. Agnes is totally unprepared for the first position, and she's a little bit better prepared for the second position, but you know, she still does not anticipate how difficult it's going to be, and especially the extreme loneliness and isolation that she feels. She does develop a love interest in the novel in a Mr. Edward Weston, who is a local parson. But as you know, as in all of the Bronte novels, there is not exactly a direct route for any of the young people who have romantic feelings for one another. As I said, I really did love this novel, and I absolutely agree with Melinda that for anyone who wants to get started with the Brontes, this would be a great novel to start with. Additionally, I completed the seventh and final novel in translation by Claudia Pineiro. We are reading or discussing now A Little Luck, translated by Frances Riddle. So this is the seventh and final of the Pineiro novels that we are discussing in the Pineiro project. We're going to be talking about this for another week, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but this is the story of a woman who is introduced to us as Mary Lawhon. She is living in Boston when the novel opens, and traveling to Argentina, which is her native country, on an assignment for the company that is owned by her late husband. We find out very early in the novel that she's from Argentina, she was raised in Argentina, and she has not been back to Argentina in over 20 years. We learn early in the novel that something horrific happened to her when she was living in Argentina, and that caused her to flee, and she ends up in Boston, where she kind of creates a new identity and starts a new life. I'm not going to talk about the terrible, horrible, horrific thing that happened because we're still talking about the book now, but I will talk about this in future videos where I want to kind of assess the entire experience of reading 7 novels in translation by Claudia Pineiro. Okay, I have also made significant progress this week in Jack McDevitt's The Engines of God. I'm about halfway finished with this novel. This is a novel that I'm reading with the New Futurian Fellowship, which is a group of booktubers, subscribers, commenters, and content creators devoted to reading science fiction written from about the 1990s through to the present day. This is the first novel that we're reading in this project. We're going to be continuing to read this for the next, I think the next 2 weeks, and then we're having a live stream discussion of that. So I will talk about that more after the entire group has read the novel, and you know, probably after we have our live stream discussion of it. Additionally, I have just started a new play by Paula Vogel, Indecent, and this is a play that we're reading with Angelia's group of Endless Drama. This is the second of 2 plays that we're reading in March. I think a lot of people in the group, from what I can see in the Discord, have finished this. It's a very quick read. I just started it the other day, but it's only 77 pages, so you know, I probably will finish this today, and we will continue to discuss this, I think, for another week in March. My in-person book group has decided our next read is a historical fiction by Ariel Lawhon, entitled The Frozen River. And I've heard a bunch of people talking about this on BookTube of late. This is based on a true story. It is based on documented records of a midwife who lived in Maine in the late 1700s. So I'm just getting started on that, and I'll be talking about that as after my group has had a chance to read it and to talk about it. So that is what I have read and what I have on deck to get into this weekend. So it's you know, it's just been a really lovely week with some. I feel like there was some good reading that took place. I got through a couple of things that I've been working on, and I've just been really overwhelmed by the kindness of people with these really lovely books and bookish gifts. So again, my sincere gratitude. So I think that's it for this week. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.